And I have to wait until he stops singing. Waiting for him to stop playing. Oh. Is that it? A man full of surprises, right? That was lovely. Good morning, everybody. I am Tracy Blender, one of your worship assistants for the day. And Leanne is now going to give us a quick list of announcements.
Good morning. Good to see you here. So, all right, short list of announcements. Next week, July 25th, Chaplain Michael Eslin will return as our guest speaker. Michael is an oncology chaplain at UCLA's Medical Center and is a favorite of many because of his thoughtful and inspirational sermons. We have a few inquiries about the new position here at PUC, which is called the Multicultural Outreach / Religious Education Director, or for short, MOED. And don't call it moped. These people will be interviewed and we will keep you posted. Okay, each Thursday there is a gathering of seniors here on the patio to share a pizza lunch. Show up at noon if you would like to join in. We are continuing to look for some volunteers to join a work party up at Botanical Pines, our beloved church camp. This will take place in August. There is a sign-up sheet in the back of the room. Also, look forward to more information coming out about the PUC parking lot campout and evening of fun and games. The date, Saturday, August 21st. So put it on your calendar. And last but not least, we would like to acknowledge that this church and this community sits upon the ancestral lands of the Tongva people, and we acknowledge that they live on. Okay, now I'm next.
Yeah, I got this part. So I'm going to do it.
Oh, that's your turn.
Well, today we are one in tens of thousands of churches that will have a service today. You probably have found this a religious community you can rest your bones in. Perhaps it will work for a while, perhaps a lifetime. Or maybe you're in search of a religious home, or maybe you are a reluctant guest who has been corralled here against your will. Either way, we welcome you. And for the next hour, we invite you to put up your figurative feet, and if you feel comfortable, open your heart. Today, in church of all places, indoctrinated in fact to be just who you are. And we mean every bit of that. However, if your cell phone rings, we will mock you. We've seen it. We've done it. Okay. So now I will go to our chalice lighting. This is from Reverend Hilary Landau Krivchenia. As the windows around us glow with a light hard to describe, so we may feel the countless touches of the holy in our world. All the names and presences, all the ideas and the persons. May our shoulders feel the embrace of love, our eyes feel the gentle brush of vision, our hands feel the stirring of strength, our legs feel an infusion of steadiness. May our houses in this house be cleared with the gentle wind of peace. May we be renewed by this time together so that we may set out again to be the 100 touches of the holy in the world.
All right, our opening hymn is a poem by Emily Dickinson that was set to music by Mary Alice Amadon. So if you're an Emily Dickinson fan, you can hum along. If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life from aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain. I shall not live in vain.
In the eye of the beholder, there are things that are beautiful. We mostly can all agree that a vibrant sunset is beautiful or the rainbow is stunning. But is there such a thing as beauty? And if so, what is it? Is beauty only in the eye of the beholder? Or is there such a thing that defines what is beautiful? See, it gets more complicated than a sunset or pretty eyes. Those are all the questions we will consider today. Hopefully, at the same time, we are touched by some, dare I say, beauty as we listen to our three reflections shared by our speakers today. Now, we will have Kim Prado-Storr come up and give us our children's moment. If there are children in the room, please come on up and sit on the carpet. Thank you.
I think it's going to be right up there, so we can all enjoy it. Yeah. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Okay, so this is called The Dot by Peter Reynolds. And Naomi's had this book for a long time. So anybody that has tried to draw something and wanted it to be beautiful or was frustrated will be able to appreciate this. Okay, The Dot. Okay, I'll read this and you read the next. Okay. Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty.
Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. Ah, a polar bear in a snowstorm, she said. Very funny, said Vashti. I just can't draw.
Her teacher smiled. Just make a mark and see where it takes you.
Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good, strong jab. There.
Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully.
She pushed the paper toward Vashti and quietly said, Now sign it.
Vashti thought for a moment. Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name.
The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot she had drawn, her dot, all framed in swirly gold.
I can make a better dot than that.
She opened her never-before-used set of watercolors and set to work. Vashti painted and painted. A red dot, a purple dot, a yellow dot, a blue dot.
The blue mixed with the yellow. She discovered that she could make a green dot. Vashti kept experimenting, lots of little dots in many colors.
If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashti splashed her colors with a bigger brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. At the school art show, a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite a splash.
Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. "You're a really great artist. I wish I could draw," he said. "I bet you can," said Vashti. "Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler."
Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. "Show me." The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle, and then she said, "Sign it."
Thank you. And now we are going to hear from Barbara, Barbara Marriott for the first reflection on beauty.
Thank you, everybody. Can you hear me? Good. I'm going to focus in on my friends and make sure that I'm supported here. All of you, right? Okay. All right. So our topic is what is beauty? And today I brought hydrangeas out of my garden. And I just picked them this morning. So, first slide. Beautiful is a hydrangea still on the vine, or actually on the bush. Vine sounds better. And beautiful is the hydrangea as it wilts. I mean, I have them all over my house, wilted and beautiful. Beautiful is the hydrangea when it's dry. That's on my table. It's been there for a year. So beautiful. Beautiful is the sea image. Oh, this is amazing. I was walking along the beach with a friend, and this was etched in the sand. Is that not gorgeous? Yeah. I couldn't do better myself. There you go. And this is Kurt's garden. And these are the vegetables from Kurt's garden. And he's just thrown seeds. He makes his own seeds. It's just amazing garden. And it is beautiful. Wildflowers, vegetables, and he gives them away all the time. I'm constantly giving big zucchinis all over the neighborhood. Beautiful is Elizabeth Warren for persisting in the face of male supremacy and white. And then I have names of all the other women that I admire, that are beautiful women, that may not look beautiful to the world. And I have them listed here, but I'm not going to read them, mainly because I didn't wear my glasses and I can't see them. I probably have 30 here, so, and there's so many more. Next. I was driving along Pacific Avenue. That's okay. I'm good. Thank you for asking. Pacific Avenue, right across from the Air Force Base there, whatever base it is. Fort. It's a fort, so it's not an Air Force. And here someone had built this wall. And it's just all these pebbles and rocks and absolutely gorgeous. That's the big thing of it. It's just a little house, and they built this wall. It was so beautiful. That's my kind of wall, you know, not between borders, but just to enclose a garden. Wow. Next, that's me at the Botanical Gardens, the butterfly exhibit. 3 of them rested on me. 1 on my hat and 2 on my arms, and I could feel their little legs. And I was just so filled with beauty. And so it was fun. This is my granddaughter, Harper, who lives in London. And she wants to be an artist just like me. She came into my house one time, and I just live in a little 2-bedroom cottage, and she lives in a mansion. And she walked into my house one day, and she said, and they call me Abadabba, and she said, Abadabba, I want to live just like you. And I know. I want to live just like you, and I want to do art just like you, and I want to live in a house just like this. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. I've lost my place. Okay. Beautiful is the struggle of another artist, me. Trying to reinvent nature and man-made environments into beauty on a canvas. So that's how I work. That's how I work. I paint a picture off of a photograph that I've taken. And so is Sue Cutler, because she and I used to paint together. Beautiful. And I have to finally understand that what I do is beautiful, at least to me. And finally, beautiful are the words of St. Francis of Assisi. I had this memorized, but I'm so nervous that I'm going to read it. So, and you can read it with me. Lord, make thee the instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. My divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand. For it is in giving that we receive, and it's pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying to self that we are born to eternal life. Just my prayer. Thank you.
Barbara, thank you for that. We could hear how beautiful you find all this in your voice and your presentation. Your nervousness made it even better. And now we are going to move into joys and concerns. And Leanne is going to go ahead and light our candles for us, and I'm going to come around and hopefully have a working microphone so you can tell us what's going on in your life and those of those you love. Leanne will now light a candle for all the unspoken joys and concerns. What's not pretty? Stephen King suggests that writing is a form of telepathy. You know, I practiced this about 5 times. Telepathy. What is in the author's mind somewhat magically gets translated into another's consciousness. Prayer is a little bit like that. Here's our prayer today. It is simple. May everyone, rich and poor, get to experience a little beauty. As the protest slogan suggests, we need not only bread, but roses to thrive. The following words came from Lucinda Duncan. God of life and beauty, knowing that love is quiet, we pray for the quietness of snowflakes. Knowing that gentleness is fragile, we pray for the kindness of small acts. May ours be a religion which, like the snowflake, goes everywhere in quietness, in love, and with gentle regard for that which is true and beautiful in us and about us. Amen.
Our reading today is a journal piece from Ruth Baez. This is one of her spiritual practices that gives her access to beauty. It's 8 a.m., and I'm standing beneath the almost nude limbs of a Japanese maple. At my feet, the ground is carpeted with brilliant, rain-slicked red leaves. I repeat a phrase I made up years ago when I want to stay focused on nature. Life force, power, clear, beauty, touch me. At the word beauty, the vibrant energy of the red leaves at my feet fly through me. I am not used to a life force energy coming up through my feet. It's quite an amazing feeling. It fades until I repeat the phrase again and come to the word beauty. Yes, there is a rush. Beauty is the key that opens the door in me that I can receive what's right here all the time. I want the life's force, power, and beauty to touch me. Today, the power is the color red, and the magic word is beauty. I'm intrigued that the word beauty so consistently accesses this rush of connection. I know there is a great power in naming it. Is that it? Does correctly naming what's before me open me up to its essence? Does naming open a level of understanding that's deeper, or a creative framework that brings to life the flame of a candle? One could contemplate an unlit candle from many angles, touch it with many things, but the flame is what brings out its true essence. Could a word be like that? Is that the power of poetry, of chanting, of writing? Everywhere I stroll, I say, "Hello, beauty," or "You're magnificent, beauty." Each time there is a rush of recognition and delight. I walk on a carpet of gold witch hazel leaves, breathing in the sweet scent of the tree's strange, spidery leaves. I put my face into a branch full of red maple leaves. I kiss one. I study an intricate curled brown leaf hanging limply on a peach maple tree. I walk into the arms of my favorite bright yellow tree. Hello, beauty. I know you're fleeting in my life. I know as a human animal with limited capacity, I can't hold you, but thank you for being here today. Our next reflector is Ruth Stewart, one of our newer members. We welcome you and thanks for stepping up to the plate.
Hello, now it's working. Hi, my name is Ruth Stewart, and I'm a new member. My comments will be a little unexpected. We will go from the broad collective experience of beauty down to the personal experience. Our starting point is art. I know that art and beauty don't completely correlate. Some great art can be very challenging and even disturbing, but I believe most people think of art that they like as beautiful. In my career at Long Beach Public Library, my favorite job was heading the arts department. I sometimes steered art theory students to a study done by two Russian artists who immigrated to the US in the 1990s. Kamar and Malamud's paintings weren't selling very well, so they decided that they would find out what people like in art in America. They wanted to find out what the majority of American people, museum goers and common people too, were really wanting in art and displayed in their homes. Funded by The Nation magazine, a marketing research firm was hired to survey Americans, then later expanded to 9 other countries. Here are the results of the American survey. I'm not saying that this is scrupulously scientific or stringently peer-reviewed, or that tastes haven't changed since 1997, but I thought it was quite interesting and fun. Let's start easy. What is the favorite color in the United States and all countries surveyed? Anybody have a guess? Blue. Blue. Blue the worldwide. So, image 1. Sorry, it's not better resolution. So here is America's most wanted painting created by the characteristics that Kamar and Malamud found. Elements the majority surveyed wanted: a blue landscape that features sky and blue water using vibrant shades of color, wild animals in their natural setting, people, ordinary or famous, 50-50 split, so that we got George Washington in the middle, and we got some tourists on the right, fully clothed and at leisure. We have autumn scene, soft curves, and playful, whimsical designs. Colors blended but still seeing brush strokes, and the size of a dishwasher. Image 2. Ew. Here we see America's least wanted painting. Unfamiliar, different looking, featuring imaginary objects, thick textured surfaces, geometric patterns, darker shades, sharp angles, bold, stark designs, separate colors, colors of gold, orange, peach, and teal, and the size of a paperback. If you want to learn more about this study, I have the book with me and the website also. They actually tabulate the responses by age, income, sex, ethnicity, country, etc. I bet this doesn't match everyone's or anyone's taste here, but Unitarians are usually contrarians and always agree to disagree. This premise was also a marketing survey to see what the common characteristics most liked by the largest number of people were. But I think we realize that's not the way to appreciate art. We're not voting on it. We have vastly different tastes. And so we need vastly different kinds of art. You don't want all art looking alike, and you don't create art just to sell. As all the artists in the congregation know, and art appreciators, you don't create it just to sell. It is a process of creation itself, for yourself, and to portray your beauty of the world and the associations you see, and share the vision with others. I personally like photography. I can't paint like Barbara, and I find beauty in the big landscapes. May not have blue, maybe people and animals in them or not. And I also find it in the details in nature and elsewhere. The lines of a leaf, the texture of a flower, the color of Buddha's hands, the shapes of shadows on a wall. Lastly, beauty is in the face of others, loved ones and strangers, myriad shapes, lines, textures, colors, and emotional connections, all involved in the experience of life. Find your art, maybe even create some, and increase the beauty around you, because beauty feeds the heart. Let it shine. P.S. I've seen and learned about beauty in this church just this last week. Ming Tu's stunning pencil portraits last Sunday, Sue Cutler's paintings here, and especially in Robin's book club, discussing the warped standards of beauty and ugliness in the amazing novel Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. Thank you for the experiences.
Thank you, Ruth. Very articulate descriptions of the way you see things. And our next speaker, Jean Tordella, will share from her personal perspective.
Music to my ears. What is beauty to me? The topic is so broad that we could discuss it for years. Today, I've decided to narrow it down to the 3 following things. Dance, with or without music. Music encompasses so many different forms and styles. Family brings a smile to my face, and perhaps, as you think of your family, a smile to your face. Please know that the order of these 3 small, select topics is insignificant, fluid, and joyous. I'll begin with dance. I've loved moving my body since I was born. I imagine you have too. Dance for me comes from within my core. I can feel the dance inside me. I love watching and participating in dance. During my middle and some of my high school years, my sister and I would dance in the living room for endless hours after school with the TV tuned to American Bandstand. Philadelphia is a mere 45 minutes from my house. You know, I never did actually get to go live. I wish I had. After my children were born, I returned to dance as a result of a simple invitation from a coworker to take a free ballroom dance lesson. I was hooked. Our studio offered the opportunity to participate in pro-am competitions, so I had a professional partner and I was the amateur being graded. I loved the waltz and the jitterbug. These were the reasons I returned to dance, and I stayed with it. But now it's no longer called the jitterbug. It's referred most often now as the swing. In my 40s, for 6 consecutive years, I attended a week-long adult dance camp. Wow, it was so much fun. Since I came to California, however, I've had a very small, minuscule, non-speaking part in the opening party scene in the local Nutcracker performance at the Norris Theater. Of course, it wasn't last year. I was so disappointed. I missed it terribly. These experiences and so many more come to mind when I think of dancing. Second is live music. Our example of the piano, it's just music to my ears. Live music brought my entire body to life for the first time since the pandemic on Saturday, June 26th. The Los Angeles Chamber Orchestra performed a thank you welcome back concert at the Disney Concert Hall. The hall was alive, vibrating and buzzing with expectation. Spectacularly beautiful music brought the musicians to action and the audience to settle. The first notes that made my mind and body revel in the sound flowing to my ears was the harp. Imagine for yourselves the beauty of the sound of a lone instrument, the harp, and the magnificent sound that it created in the concert hall. Music has been a significant part of my life since I can remember. My mother played classical music from the radio that was positioned in the dining room, but yet she was in the kitchen cooking, so you know it was pretty loud. COVID-19 collapsed live music for me and impacted so many other lives. I could list all the in-person music that I miss so desperately that is coming back. July 3rd, however, I celebrated the beauty of the return of live music to the Hollywood Bowl. Our group of 5 began celebrating on the bus from Wilson Park with drinks and hors d'oeuvres and toasting one another. We were so happy we toasted throughout the entire trip. The Los Angeles Symphony played several selections that were lovely. They honored all of the people who have given so much during COVID-19 to take care of everyone. Followed by Kool and the Gang. The entire audience jumped up, dancing in the aisle when they strolled across the stage. For their entire performance, I felt like I was young again, out on a Friday night dancing with my work buddies. We were excited when the fireworks started. The entire bowl started screaming, hollering, oohing, and hollering and oohing and eyeing with every explosion in the sky. I'd love to share part of that experience. You know I have a 1-minute clip on my phone. Ask me to play it after the service and I can share that experience with you. The concert throughout was music to my ears as well as my eyes. This short journey of beauty began with dance, flowed through music, and now I'm going to flow into the family. Not only does the thought of family bring a smile to my face, but incredibly wonderful memories immediately visualized in my brain. I'll share a couple of those special times with you. When I danced in those local dance competitions, I was scared and nervous, especially since I wanted to impress my parents, who flew from Wilmington, Delaware to Chicago for the sheer purpose of visiting me during my performance. It was so scary for me. My parents loved dance, music, art, and travel. They enjoyed watching me perform 3 short dances. Each of the dances had special shoes, a fancy costume, and of course my makeup with these really long fluttering eyelashes. I still have my costumes and my shoes as memories. They're in the attic of my garage, probably just rotting away. Together we shared the beauty of dance and music of all the performers. My parents and I began traveling together as early as 1989. This is one of my favorite stories. I was chatting with my mom, which I did on a weekly basis. I said, "You know, Mom, I'd really like to go on a vacation." She paused and said, "Well, where do you want to go?" I said, "Well, Hawaii, of course, but I don't want to go alone." "Oh, well, I'll go with you," she said. "Oh, wait a minute. I better go ask your father if he'd like to join us." Together we enjoyed the beauty of the Hawaiian Islands, and in 1989 there were spectacular views of the active volcano that we observed from a helicopter. My parents were adventurous. We observed the beauty and the power of nature as the unstoppable lava overran the visitor center that year. I can still picture it right now. In 1998, my parents' older sister and her husband and I traveled overseas to Belgium to visit my oldest son. We shared the beauty of the Belgian architecture and cheered while Kevin, my oldest son, competed in his first professional volleyball team. What's a mother to do? She's got to go see where her son lives. In 1994, my youngest son, Keith, and I traveled with my parents, and we wondered at the majesty of the Canadian Rockies. That gave me goosebumps. We were gone 20 days together, not a single argument. I did all the driving, so I didn't have to argue with the other drivers. Within those 20 days, we managed to play bridge as a foursome, so it was my son, myself, and my parents who loved to play bridge, for missing only 2 of those days playing bridge. It was so much fun. I have so many experiences to share about my family, and I'm sure you do as well, that it would take us a month of Sundays to share them. Oh, that expression, that was one of my mother's favorite expressions. Beauty is all around us in so many forms. The human body, our minds, nature, friendship, dance, music, and family. I'd like to close with a quote that I found from Cicely Morgan. "Music is life. That's why your heart has a beat." Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Jean. We got to learn a lot about you I didn't know. I may request a dance lesson as opposed to your 1-minute video clip. So I ran into this bagpiper. And he told me a story that he had been called to play at the graveside service for a homeless man who had no friends or family. The service was to be held at a pauper's cemetery in the back country. Not familiar with the backwoods, the bagpiper got lost, and eventually he saw a group of guys standing around a hole, a backhoe nearby. There was no hearse left. There were only people, the diggers, the crew, and they were eating lunch. He felt badly about missing the service, and he apologized to the men for being late, and he went to the side of the grave. He looked at the vault lid already in place. He grabbed his bagpipe. He took a deep breath, and he began to play. The workers put down their lunches. They began to gather around, listening to this heartfelt music. This man played with his heart and soul for this man who had no other family or friends to bid him goodbye. As he played Amazing Grace, one of the workers began to weep. They wept, and they all began to weep a little together. When he finished, he walked back to his car, was packing up his bagpipes, and he heard behind him the workers talking. And they said that they had never before been so touched while putting in a septic tank. Please give generously. Thank you, Gary. That was lovely. I'm looking for the name of that song. Do you have it offhand? Eye of the Moon.
It's an arbitrary song, so it's How I
Well, okay then. Shall we say our affirmation of gratitude? Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for all those who share their gifts, for we are enriched by their giving. And let us also be grateful for our needs, so that we may experience the generosity of others.
In closing, let us remember that this church is dedicated to the proposition that behind all of our differences and beneath all of our diversity, there is a unity that makes us one and binds us forever together in spite of time and death and the space between the stars. We pause in silent witness to that unity.
May the blessing of love be upon you. May love's peace abide with you. May love's presence illuminate your hearts now and forevermore. So be it. Amen. Shalom. Salam. Namaste. And blessed be. And now, our service truly begins.
Here's a little song I wrote called There'll Come a Day. There'll come a day when we may be done. The lights are on, but nobody's home. If we keep waiting, If we keep drifting on, it will be gone. What must we do to keep it real? What must we say to show what we feel? Shining the light of love for each other clear. No shedding tears. Things of old won't keep us caring. We must see things new. Right the wrongs that still define us. Show we can undo. So listen, just hear me, just come along. There'll come a day when we are strong. All of our doubts, they will be gone. We'll see each other in loving shades and hues we just can't lose. So listen, just hear me, just come along. There'll come a day